Hey, what's going on, my fellow collectors? Jim here with another figure review. Tonight, let's check out the Mafex number 49 Dark Knight Trilogy Batman Begins suit. Super pumped for this figure. This is the packaging. We do get a nice pretty big open window here in the front. You do got the Dark Knight Trilogy. You got Mafex number 49, image of the character, image of the figure down here. You got the Medicom toy DC. On the top, you got an image of the figure. Very cool. On the side, we do got the one full body image that we've seen before from the promotional shots. On the other side, we have the same image that we saw on the top. And on the back, we have some of the other promotional pictures that we saw, along showing off the Bruce Wayne head sculpt that really looks nothing like what you see inside the packaging. But hey, I think we all knew that was coming, didn't we? The bottom is that. But yeah, that is the packaging. Let's crack this thing open and take a closer look. Okay, and here's Batman out of the packaging, along with everything that we do get with this figure, which really isn't that much, but, you know, overall, it's a nice piece. I'm glad I got it for the collection. I do have a couple gripes, but starting with the accessories, we do get the standard Mafex stand that we're used to getting. We do get the nice clear base. You have 3 different ports you can port the arm into, and it does hinge at the bottom, hinges in the middle, hinges at the top, swivels, and then of course you have your waist grabber, which I noticed they're going back to these really big thick ones. I more or less prefer these kind of small ones, but we do get the stand. He does come with a pair of fists. He comes with a pair of kind of like not relaxed hands, but kind of like style pose hands. A little bit of dynamic to them. I do like the sculpting that we get on the palms. We kind of have this like kind of texture going on the palms, so that's really cool. And we just have like the flat black for the gloves, so the more or less kind of glossy black. We do get 2 trigger finger hands, and these turned out good. Again, we get that nice kind of texture on the palms, which I don't know if the camera's really picking up, but. And for the trigger finger hands, we do have the grapple gun. And this turned out really good. Nice sculpt, really nice gold paint. Really nice kind of like gunmetal gray. But yeah, really nice sculpt work. It does look really good. Now we don't get any like grapple hooks or anything that we can put into the barrel or put on the side or on the top. But the grapple gun did turn out really nice. And then we do have 2 batarang holding hands with 3 batarangs. And let me tell you, these batarangs are teeny tiny. I feel like they're going to be lost in no time. I mean, the batarangs themselves, they turned out really good. They look good. They're kind of like, raised on one side and then flat on the other side. But, nice gold paint to them. But they're just so small, I feel like they're going to be lost in no time. Of course, we do have the chest plate that does not have the bat signal in it, so I'll show you how that works. And then of course we have the Bruce Wayne head sculpt, which like Mafex usually does, their promotional pictures look a lot better than the finished product. Like, that is the promotional, and that is the finished product. So that's how it's normally been coming out, where it's not as sharp and crisp and clean as it is in the promotional shots. It ends up being more soft and just not as accurate. I will say that they are working a little bit on the paint. It's not 100% orange, but it still has that like yellowish orangey skin tone that they just can't seem to get right. But nice hair sculpt for the most part. We do kind of have like this light brown kind of shading going all through it. Almost looks like it's like dusty, really. But for what it is, it's not bad. And then let's take a closer look at the Batman figure, because for what it is and being the costume design, it turned out nice. I think they did a good job capturing that. Now, my main issue that I had with this right out of the box, if you haven't, if you can't tell already, is the eyes on mine is just way off. It's like he's looking straight up. When I first took it out of the package, I was like, where's his eyes? Like all I saw was just all white. It took me a while to see the pupils, and they're just way the heck up there. So that's very disappointing. But as far as the sculpt of the cow, I think they nailed it. I think it looks really good, just like it did in Batman Begins. We get that really nice sculpting all throughout the cow from all angles. I think it turned out really good. And on the back, we get that really kind of long, part on the back, so that turned out good. And as far as the Christian Bale, mouth portion, I mean, it's not bad. The skin tone's not too bad, and the lips are painted, good for the most part. The rest of the suit, I think, looks really good. It looks just like it did in Batman Begins. We get that really kind of like flat black all throughout, but we get the nice kind of sharp lines all throughout the armored parts of the costume. The bat symbol turned out really good. I like that. I do like the texture that we get. Not the texture, but the sculpted lines that we get over here on the arms. We get a little bit of wrinkles. And then the gauntlets have that like kind of more glossy black to them, just like the gloves. And I think it looks really good between the two. And the gauntlets turned out really good. The little fins on the gauntlets turned out really good. Nice sculpted armor pieces all throughout the middle here. And then the belt turned out really good. Nice gold paint. We get the nice kind of like silver accents on it. And then we do get the little, canisters and cylinders and what was this, his bomb, I think it was. But yeah, really nice. Even on the back, they continued all that kind of armored sculpting. So it looks really good. Then we get that kind of like line work down here. Continues all down the legs. And then the boots, again, we get that, more glossy black. But we get the nice sculpted lines and wrinkles all in it. And then the boots themselves actually look really good. And then we get really nice tread on the bottom. So yeah, overall, I think they nailed the Batman Begins, movie look. That's for sure. Now the belt is a floating separate piece, so that's cool. It's not going to limit your articulation. Doesn't get in the way too much when you're, posing them around. Now the cape, on the other hand, I like it, but it also kind of drives me crazy because there's just so much of it. I mean, the cape is absolutely massive. Very, very big. I mean, that's the length of it. And then it's just way, way, way past his feet. Now, I think the cape was pretty big in the Batman Begins. And, they did add a wire, so I do like that. And the feel of the cape is it kind of feels like spandexy, but it's not stretchy like that. But it kind of has that kind of soft, silky feel of spandex. It is pretty light, you can see my hand through it. But, I do like it, but it just kind of gets in the way a little bit when you're kind of trying to pose him around, so you're kind of having to mess with the cape as well. But I do like the fact that they started the wire pretty much right here, so that you don't get any of that poofy bulkiness, and it is a nice kind of thin wire, so you can manipulate it and bring it down the back, and it will look good on him, and you can get it to look natural, if you just kind of mess with it. So I do like that aspect of it. Now as far as articulation, you're not going to get a lot of movement in the head, of course, because, the cow is one solid piece. So you get a little bit of, side to side. You get about that much down, and you really don't get any up. It just pops the head off if you try to, go too far up. You get a little bit of side to side pivot. The arms, of course, you get kind of like that shift up and down, but it will go out about that much. Of course, that will rotate all the way around. You do have a bicep swivel. You do have double joint at the elbow, which gives you, a little better than 90 degrees. And of course, for the wrist, you do have swivel and hinge, and you can set it to go up and down or left and right. We do have the cut here in the upper torso. So you get, swivel there. You do get side, you get forward. You get really nice back, crazy back. And you don't really get a lot of gapping, even though the sculpt of the armor kind of stops right there. And then of course you get that same movement at the waist. So you get, you know, swivel, you get really nice side, really nice side. With both of the joints you get crazy, crazy back. And with both of them you get a decent forward with both joints. So that's cool. For the legs we do have the, you know, shift up and down. You can get about that much out. Not so much back, about that much out. You do have a swivel around that. You do have the double jointed knees, which don't look too bad, but you know, only give you about that much range. And then for the foot, you have the ball hinge, which really can't bring it back too much just because of the sculpt of the back of the boot. Get about that much back, about that much forward. You do have an ankle rocker in there. You kind of have to manipulate that ball joint. And then you do have the toe hinge. So nice movement, definitely nice movement. I'm loving the movement in this Batman. Now as far as interchanging the chest plate, you gotta pop the head off, and it is on there with a magnet. And when you remove it, the entire cape comes with it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But you know, you have the magnets there on the chest, and you have the magnets on that. Line it up, and it pops right in there. And it's pretty seamless for the most part. Doesn't look too bad on there. But that is cool that we get that option. And then of course you can add the Bruce Wayne head, which I noticed the first time I had to add a little bit of force, it seems like, to get this neck on that ball joint. I don't have any issue with the, you know, the Batman cowl, but with this I have quite an issue getting it around that ball joint for whatever reason. But you know, that's what it looks like with the Bruce Wayne head on. And you get better movement with this head, of course, because you have, you know, double ball peg at the top and then at the bottom of the neck, of course. So you know, you get decent down, you get a little bit more up, you do get nice side to side pivot. Then of course you have rotation, and you have rotation at the neck, so you get movement at both head and neck. So very cool. So that's what he looks like with the, you know, Bruce Wayne head and then the alternative chest plate. And if you wanted to take that off, it's a little bit tricky because you kind of have to like get your fingernails in there. But yeah, pop that back on. Pop the Batman head back on there. But alright, measuring out this Batman figure. Oh, sorry about that if the focus went bad on you. Measuring out this Batman figure, it looks like to the top of his ears, he's just a little under 6 1/4 inches tall. Pretty much almost 6 inches to the top of his head. And as far as some comparisons, we do have the SH Figure Arts Dark Knight Rises Batman. So you see they're about the same height. And I do want to point out, and this is one thing that I noticed, the grapple gun that came with the Dark Knight Rises Batman, I always thought this was a little bit big for the figure. And taking a look at the two grapple guns, you can see that this one is way, way smaller. And I think, like, you know, in the size of the figure, it looks a little bit more natural, where this one looks so big on this SH Figure Arts one for whatever reason. But these two line up, you know, pretty much almost the exact same height. And I forgot to mention, as far as swapping the hands in and out, it's just the peg, so it's more or less just a friction thing. And I didn't really have any issues popping any of the hands in there. They go in there pretty easily. As far as the Mafex, you know, Batman vs Superman Batman, of course I do have the Ben Affleck head on there. You can see even with the Mafex, they're all pretty much in scale of each other. Here is the NECA Batman Begins. So you see there's a pretty big size difference between them. And then here is the SH Figure Arts Joker. So the good news is that within the SH Figure Arts line, you know, he's going to pretty much be in a decent scale with the SH Figure Arts, because he's pretty much the same height as the SH Figure Arts Batman. But yeah, guys, that was a look at the Mafex number 49 Batman Begins figure. Overall, it's a really nice figure. I mean, I do have my gripes, of course. Mine has the, you know, eyes looking straight up, which is a little bit frustrating. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's a really nice figure, you know, really nice articulation. The cape is really big, but, you know, if you work with it, you can get it to look really, really nice. Very glad to have it in the collection. But yeah, guys, that was the review. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next figure review.